First of all, thank you so much for being willing to share your experience with my medical vacations, Robyn. We're very happy that this whole process has finished. There's some recovery time that we still need to complete, but you seem very well recuperated. We're happy about that. But we wanted it to also go into a little bit about the beginning of this story, like once you in Canada, what made you tilt towards an option outside of your country?
Yeah, so in Canada, I never actually got to see a plastic surgeon, and I think it was probably about 8 years that I tried to meet with a surgeon, and I'd get met with like the receptionist lady, and I got called a liability to the doctor's history, like their medical history as far as being able to do successful surgeries. I was told that I was too young because I'm only 27. I hadn't had a chance to breastfeed babies yet, so I couldn't get new boobs. And then the big one is the BMI scale. The body mass index scale in Canada runs everything. So I was too short and too fat to have surgery. So I couldn't even get approved. And so then it was really frustrating. And I went through like dietitians and exercise programs, weight loss drugs. I looked into bariatric surgery, but you can't have kids for 4 years after surgery. And I wasn't putting off kids for that long. Uh, so we did a Google search. We Googled where to have plastic surgery, and it was here, Turkey, Brazil, I think was one of them. And this felt the most safe.
Okay.
Turkey, Thailand was another one. And then we sent our first email in January to Carrie. January? Yeah. And then, I mean, we're here in April, so it went really quick. But I also really appreciate that everybody here, every time I saw someone, really reassured me that I was a low risk for surgery because I didn't understand why I was so high risk there, but low risk here. It turns out people just didn't want to touch me in Canada. So that was huge. But I mean, even the price difference, it, it made way more sense to come here and have surgery than it ever did to stay in Canada and keep fighting for it there. So
And the procedure that you were pursuing is not necessarily only aesthetic, by all means. It's actually health related. And so, can you tell us exactly what procedure you had done?
yeah, so I had a breast reduction. In Canada, it's considered a cosmetic procedure. Plastic surgeons don't do surgery at hospitals, they're in their own clinic, which Dr. Panama here is her own clinic too. But because I was considered too high risk with my BMI, I'd have to have surgery at a hospital in order for it to be legal, and I would have to pay for it out of pocket, which was a lot of money. And then, well, I lost my train of thought there.
No, and
For just the aesthetics of it. And I mean, I had back problems. So I was seeing a chiropractor. And at one point, he told me that my hips were so messed up from adjusting my weight that if I was pregnant and had given birth, I would have broke my hip bones giving birth. And so then that was a lot of steps to get that fixed. And then here, and I mean, my spine's a little messed up from the weight, but it just made way more sense to come here where people actually listened to me and understood that this is what I wanted to do. I mean, I've cried so much in the last few days from just the pure excitement of being able to have the procedure and have people talk to me like an adult who knows what she needs.
well, at the end, it's important to keep every case individual. I mean, we receive a lot of patients, but every case has a medical history behind it. And yes, certain parameters differ from country to country. In Mexico, this procedure is not an aesthetic procedure. This is an actual health improvement procedure.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we were able to match that. And well, long story short, you're getting on a plane and then you're flying to Cancun with
Yeah.
mom. What were your thoughts there? Were you I'm sure nervous?
I don't know. From the point that we like approved it, yeah, we were coming to the point we got here. It's just been such a haze. Like I'm sure I just kind of coasted through it, and I don't think it really hit me until we were driving home from surgery, because then I cried on the way home and I was like, wow, this actually happened. Because it's been such a long road in Canada of 8 years of yes, you can have surgery. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. And then here, and everyone was just like, yeah,
Well,
crazy journey.
especially like you said, when you had looking for this for so long. What do you think of Dr. Panama? She's the one that was in charge of your surgery.
Yeah, she was really nice. She said it was one of the largest reductions she's ever done, which is crazy. And I don't know if it was her or someone along the road of talking told me that I did not have the boobs of a 27-year-old, which made me laugh. I love that. Now I do. Now I have the boobs of a 27-year-old, and I'm so excited. And she was so grateful and like helpful, and I love her.
Would you recommend her to any other
Oh
patient
yeah,
that she's looking for a
absolutely.
cosmetic
She did a
procedure?
really good job.
What about the facilities? I know that she has an ambulatory clinic, but what were your impressions when you saw the facilities, when they were checking the OR and all the areas that you got to visit?
Yeah, they felt good. Very smelled very clean. Every day we walked in there, it smelled like lemons. So
Okay.
it was very nice. And everybody that you met along the way said hi. Like one lady, she said hi to us every time we were in the clinic. I don't think she had anything to do with my surgery, but she was so nice. And even the doctors who didn't speak English would come in with their phones and their apps to translate so that they could understand, questions I had. And so it was very nice. Very good experience.
Well, it's part of the process. It's a mix between the Mexican culture is warm at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that defines us. So I'm glad that we can match that into the medical procedures because that part is actually straightforward and
Yeah.
not a lot of room for that. But if we can, or in general, create a better environment in that regard and give you more like relaxation in that
Yeah.
part, it's always better. How about your recovery? You said you were driving out. You realized that everything happened, and then okay, the first few days and the people that were taking care of you. Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So on my day 6 of recovery now, I feel so good. They told me I needed to put my hands above my head before I could go home. And I think it was like day 3. And I was able to do that for a little short amount of time. Now I can do it and it feels okay. But I think having somewhere where the nurse Anna was able to come every day and she answered a lot of my questions, and it was great. I really appreciated having someone come and help me in the antibiotics. I don't think I took a ton of pain pills. The biggest thing is my butt hurts from sitting on a 45-degree angle at night. But other than that, like I felt like my incisions healed really well. And this was my first major surgery. I wasn't really sure what to expect as far as recovery, but I feel like it went really
Now you know.
well. Now I know I can have more and we'll be fine now.
No, well, yes, at the end, it's challenging. Regardless where you have the procedure, it's challenging to go through this process of recovering. That's why we make an effort to give the patients everything they need and be
Mhm.
able to, so they can be able to focus on the recovery itself.
But
And
I wouldn't have gotten that in Canada. I wouldn't have had someone to come check on me every day. I would have had to drive myself to a clinic every other day to have them checked. And so it was just nice knowing that she was coming, and if I had questions, she could answer them. So,
no, well, that's one of the benefits. And
yeah.
yes, we can provide a personalized attention. We're very happy that at this stage you look great, you look recovered, you look healthy, and
Hmm.
more importantly, with this objective already on the books. No, you already
Yeah.
completed it. We are very thankful for trusting in our company, trusting in our team, in our surgeons, and finally, what would you say to the people that are in the need or looking for either a cosmetic procedure or something that needs to be done, but they are like being kind of held back because of news, because of the news that are portrayed sometimes in the
Hmm.
media about violence and stuff. You came to Cancun, you've been here for 7 days so far, you're gonna move to a resort.
Yep.
So, but you were in the hospital areas of Cancun with your mom. What can you tell us about safety issues in Cancun?
I think it's really good. I mean, we took an Uber our second night here, and she spoke no English, but it was fine. I put in the wrong address. We ended up at the wrong house. But other than that, I felt safe. I never felt uncomfortable or worried. I wasn't checking to make sure the doors were locked all the time. And even to be able to go out and go for a walk somewhere, we felt very comfortable with it. And there's some things that take getting used to, like the crosswalks. There's no specific light that tells you when to cross. So that was a lot for us. But other than that, I felt very safe. And like you said, we stayed not in a hotel, we stayed like in accommodations like downtown Cancun. But even to sit outside and enjoy the sun one day, and people just kind of looked and were like, who are these white ladies sitting outside? And, but nobody ever really bothered us, or like it just felt like I was at home, like it was fine. I would definitely say safety concern probably wasn't one of my biggest concerns either. Like I was more so focused on surgery, but I never become an issue.
I'm glad to hear that. And yes, the reality is like we said, like if people are looking for trouble, most likely they'll find them. But
Yeah.
the vast majority of the 4 million visitors that we have every year, they come, they enjoy the destination,
Yeah.
whether they come for a medical procedure, but at the end, they go back home and they want to come back.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys come back, not necessarily for surgery, but
Yeah.
to enjoy the destination, to enjoy the beach. I'm sure you're gonna have a great time. But yeah, pretty much, that was. Thank you so much for sharing this part of of the experience that you had. I'm sure it's gonna help a lot of people also to see like the real information straight up from a patient.
Yeah.
So we thank you a lot for that, Robyn, and we wish you a a well recovery. And to complete that process, we will remain in touch for making sure that the doctor is aware of everything that is happening.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much on the other side of the fence,
Yeah.
and we're very happy for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm very excited as well. Everybody at my medical vacations has been amazing from start to finish.
Would you
So.
recommend the company?
Oh yeah, big time. I think we have to a few people. Oh, she's crying. I think we have to a few people already. We haven't even left yet. No, it's been such a good experience.
Well,
Everybody's been really good about answering questions too, and like making us feel comfortable, which has been great.
yeah, the transmission of information has to be clear, concise, and also so you don't have you're not wondering. So I'm glad that you made this mom daughter trip, that it worked out fine, that you're healthy and with the objective completed. So I think it was a great experience for us. You're a great patient too. So for
Oh,
us, it was a great experience having you here and hosting you. So also, what about, I know you're moving to a resort, which is totally
yeah.
fine. The doctor gave us the okay. But the area, the location where you had your Med B&B,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about that?
It was pretty quiet actually. I think we could hear the pizza shop at night,
Uh-huh.
but other than that, it felt very safe. There was like taco shops close by. We walked to the market, which was nice. We walked to the Starbucks. It was like it felt safe. It's different having gates everywhere. That's not a thing we have in Canada. So you felt very secure and it felt comfortable. And it was kind of a different experience. My first time to Mexico, and I'm in what I would call not the touristy
Mm-hmm.
part of Mexico.
You're
Now I
right.
get to go do the touristy things, but it just felt very relaxing.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. It's the way it is here in Cancun, and we have only great experiences for patients, and yours is another one that we're very happy to have been able to be part of.
I'm
So
very
thank you so much for giving us your feedback, and we really appreciate it.
I
All right,
really appreciate it.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, listo.